Good morning, Hawks. I'm freshman Sarah Lawson. Today is Friday the 5th, and today is an A Day. Today's staff members of the day are Mrs. Martinek and Mrs. Elsie. Stay tuned to hear about the upcoming weather, an interview with a member of the swim team, and another woman in history. Now let's head over to Parker with an update on the COVID vaccine.
Hey Hawks, I'm Junior Parker Wolf, and as it was talked about on the show yesterday, COVID restrictions are easing up. This is partially due to the increase in people who are getting the vaccine. Did you know that the Pfizer vaccine, which is one of the 3 vaccines available, has been tested and approved for ages 16 and up? This means that once students are included in the phases of people who are able to get vaccinated, a large portion of our student population would be eligible for the vaccine if they choose to get it. The other 2 vaccines are the Johnson & Johnson, which has just recently been given out in New York, and Moderna, which is one of the original vaccines that had been administered. These 2 vaccines are available for people who are 18 and older, meaning some students in the school are able to get any of the 3 vaccines. Tune in to CPPtv next Wednesday to hear from your classmates what they have to say about the vaccines and if they will choose to get it or not. Now here's Brooklyn with weather.
What's up, Hawks? I'm sophomore Brooklyn Batsing, here to deliver your weather update. Today we will have a cold high of 33 and an even colder low of 19 with partly cloudy skies throughout the day. The weather for the rest of this weekend is looking to be similar with temperatures in the 30s and 40s. Looking ahead to next week, the temperatures will rise into the 50s and 60s and more sun can be expected. Now here's Haley with your sports.
Hey Hawks, it's sophomore Haley Morris here today to kick off our sports segment with an interview from Dan Hirsch.
Hawks, today I have an interview with varsity swimmer Dan Hirsch for you, so let's get started. For our first question, what did you do to prepare for your season during quarantine?
So at the start of quarantine, obviously it was hard to get into the more local pools because of the lockdown and all that stuff. So me and a couple other guys, Cal Bartone, Ryan McNutt, and Yushi Portwood, we went to Ithaca to a pool to train there like over the summer just to stay in shape. And then when more pools opened up locally, we went there instead.
On to the next question. How was your season with COVID regulations?
So due to the COVID regulations, the swim season was definitely shorter. It was only 8 weeks, and usually it's around 3 months. So yeah, it was definitely shorter. It felt different because we were getting into meets like after the first week. And other than that, like during practices, obviously we had to stay socially distant, and there couldn't be more than like 5 people in the locker room. So it was definitely an adjustment, but I think we got to it, and we didn't let it affect our season. We still stayed strong.
Next up, how did you and your team feel about setting a state record?
So with the state record, going into the meet, we weren't really focused on the state record. We didn't even like think about it that much. Like our main goal was All-American, either automatic or consideration. We were going for all 3 of the relays. So like we didn't even know we hit a state record until after we were done, and like teammates and coaches were like, that's a state record. So yeah, it didn't feel real at the time. It still doesn't really feel that real, but I think the 4 of us, like I can speak for all 4 of us when I say that we're like really excited. We've already got the previous record holder texting us and like telling us how like bummed they were to hear, but records are meant to be broken, so yeah.
Lastly, how do you feel now that your senior season is over?
So now that my senior swim season's over, I'm definitely looking back pleased at what we accomplished. This year, it may have been a weird one, but it was definitely a record-breaking year. Like as a team, we won our first sectional title in Corning Painted Post history for the swimming and diving team. So that was really special. And not to mention like the state record and All-American times is just unreal. Like 4 years ago, I never would have thought this was possible. So definitely happy with that. That being said, I'm not quite ready to be done with swimming, so I'm going to try to continue my career at college because swimming has done so much for me, so I'm going to try to keep that going.
Thank you so much, Dan, and great job to all of our swimmers for a great season. Now over to Jillian to learn how to make Play-Doh.
What up, Hawks? I'm junior Jillian Austin, here to show you a super fun and extremely easy activity to do at home.
What up, Hawks? I'm junior Jillian Austin, here to show you how to make your own homemade Play-Doh. For this recipe, you'll need a cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of salt, and about a 1/2 cup of water. Then you'll want to mix all of this together until it's combined. Once you've mixed all your ingredients together, it should turn into a consistency like this. Now you can either be done or add food coloring for some extra fun. Once you've mixed all your ingredients together, it should turn into a consistency like this.
Make sure you give this homemade Play-Doh recipe a try sometime and let us know in the comments if you end up making it. Make sure to keep your Play-Doh in an air-sealed container so that it doesn't dry out. Now here's Haley with more news.
Hey Hawks, I'm sophomore Haley Morse with today's Woman of the Day for Women's History Month. Jeanette Rankin was ahead of her times as the first woman elected to Congress in 1916. She began fighting for women's rights back when she went back to school at the University of Washington in Seattle when she joined the state suffrage organization in 1910. She then held a position with the National American Women's Suffrage Association. While in office, Rankin worked to expand voting rights for women, among other things like improving working conditions and health care for women and children. One thing she is less known for is voting to stay out of both world wars. In the 30s, she became the congressional lobbyist for the National Prevention of War, where she made testifying speeches about her actions leading up to World War I. She held this position until 1939 when her ideas conflicted with FDR's. Around the time of her death in 1973, Rankin was considering running for office again to speak out against the Vietnam War. The previous year, she received the honor of the world's outstanding living feminist by the National Organization for Women. Now over to Erin to wrap up the show.
Thank you for tuning in to CPPtv, your daily source of news around the nest. I'm sophomore Erin Sweeney. Hope everyone has a great Friday. If you would like more information about the show, follow our Instagram at CPP.tv. If you missed the show today or any previous shows, you can check them out on our YouTube channel at CPPtv. Thanks for watching and keep flying, Hawks.